Are you a gossip? Do you like gossip? Do you want to know what that has to do with real estate? So gossip and real estate, what could they possibly have in common? Well, come on, I'm going to take you there. Hey, welcome to Katie Whalen Realtor. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're new, we're really happy that you're here. This channel is all about getting you ready to buy an amazing home right here in the greater Phoenix area. And if this is information and content that you'd like to see more of, please subscribe and hit the bell. We'll make sure you know what's going on all the time. I don't need a show of hands, but I think we all tend to lean in occasionally when there's some hot gossip going around. Can you believe she said that? Do you know what he said about her? We've all been there. But you know, gossip usually is kind of news with a little more pizzazz and probably a lot less facts. And today I want to talk about some gossip that's going on in the real estate world because I want you to know news and facts. And you know, I'm not immune to some gossip once in a while, but today it's all about the facts. So gossip is defined in several dictionaries as being information that's not verified. That doesn't mean it's untrue or that there's not some little bits of truth in it, but overarchingly unproven. Today, I want to talk to you about the biggest bit of gossip in real estate. And I think you've probably heard it. And it goes something like this. Oh my gosh, the market has changed so much. It is just like 2008 and it's going to crash. Listen, it's nothing like 2008. Yes, our market today is different than it was a year ago and 2 years ago and any amount of years ago you want to look at. But our market is very different today in 2023 than it was in 2008. I'm going to explain one big thing and two quick ones, and I hope it puts your mind at ease. One of the biggest contributing factors to the crash of 2008 was the overwhelming abundance of subprime mortgages. These were largely unregulated, or at best, loosely regulated mortgages that were written to people who were not creditworthy in terms of conventional standards. And it was at a time when anyone applying for a mortgage, and you may have done this, doesn't mean you had a subprime mortgage, you were allowed to self-report your income. So a person could walk into a loan officer and say that they worked at McDonald's and made $100,000 a year, and they didn't have to prove it. So think about just that's only one component, but that's a fact. You did not have to confirm employment financials until about 2009 or 2010, depending on what kind of mortgage you were actually trying to get. Way too much information, right? Subprime mortgages. They no longer exist. There are still some that people took care of and are still servicing, but they are almost non-existent. Subprime mortgages, huge contributor. And it had two other bad things that happened. People bought houses they couldn't afford. They bought them with almost no money down. And when so many of them, unfortunately, went into first delinquency and then default, it caused a glut of inventory and it drove prices down. So inventory went up, prices went down, and it was at the same time a lot of bad things were happening in the economy. Subprime mortgages, people couldn't afford them. They lost their houses, they had no equity in them, and suddenly we are inundated with inventory. So 2008, a real kettle of fish when it comes to the economy in the housing market. Inventory went up, prices went down. Okay, already that's not happening. Our inventory here in the Phoenix area is actually lower today than it was just 2 months ago and 3 months ago. And this is very good news, the median home price in the United States went up 2.3% in the month of December. So our inventory is going down, our prices are going up. Do you see why that gossip, that piece of 2008, that's not happening? Lawrence Yun, chief economist for the National Association of Realtors, predicts that housing prices are going to stay relatively the same throughout 2023. So that's the really big nugget. Here's two more facts that should put your mind at ease. In 2008, over 10% of all mortgages in the United States were delinquent. And today, in 2023, it's 3.1% of all mortgages. So see that delta, 10+% and now just a little over 3? That is why 2023 is nothing like 2008. A last little data point to make you feel better, if not worse, when looking at 2008. The foreclosure rate in 2008, so this is it, foreclosed, no hope of saving your home, was 4.6% of all mortgages in the United States. And today it is 0.6%. So as you can see, these numbers have huge deltas. And while our market today is changing, it's always going to be changing. And there are things in the future, because we don't have crystal balls, we don't know what they're going to be. But the gossip that's going around, that the market is just like 2008 and it's going to crash, it's just not true. The market is changing, and if you have questions about how those changes affect you and the choices you will be making throughout this year, you got to talk to your agent. And all you have to do is reach out to me. All of my contact information is attached to this post. Really glad you're here today. If you liked it, please subscribe, hit the bell, maybe a thumbs up, and your comments are always welcome. Thanks so much. Until we meet again, you take good care.